Thank you. Joining us now for a special holiday political panel, NewsNation contributor Republican Denise Gitsham and Democratic strategist Kayvon Schroff. All right, Denise, this one's for you. First off, happy 4th of July. But is the bill, is the bill on its way to the president's desk to be signed? It is, obviously. He spent late hours convincing holdouts to come to this side who didn't necessarily agree with some of the cuts. How do you think he got them on board?
There's nobody like President Trump to strike the art of the deal. He used, I'm certain, a mix of carrots and sticks to do what he does best, which is to get people to bend to his will. Look, no one's doubting the fact that President Trump has complete control over the Republican Party, and no one wants to go the way of Bob Good, the former House Freedom Caucus chair, when he got primaried by Trump himself, basically. And so if they care about their political future, they want to live to fight another day, which seems to be all they're interested in doing, or maybe holding things up. I don't know what their intentions are. But as a mainstream Republican who's very much excited about what was in the bill, I'm so grateful that they finally came around.
All right, Kayvon, I apologize for mispronouncing your name, and also happy holidays to you, my friend. But this is no way a health care bill, but it will make some of the biggest health policy changes since Obamacare. There are $1 trillion in cuts, and more than 12 million Americans could lose their insurance. What do you see being the Republicans' argument if challenged by constituents?
Well, I think you're absolutely right to say this is in no way a health care bill. It's just the opposite. And I think we're going to see Republicans do what they do best, which is blatantly lie about this. And we've seen a little bit of it. We've seen congressmen like Keith Self from Texas tweet 24 hours before voting for the bill that it was morally and fiscally bankrupt, and then going and voting for it. We've seen, Derek Van Orden delete tweets admitting what is in this bill. So, once again, they're going to say something to the public that's not true, and then go do the dirty work on behalf of their billionaires. And I think people are very tired of this. We all just watched that Bezos wedding, right? A gaudy, ostentatious affair. And to think that anyone in the country thinks we need to take away school lunch from 18 million kids, healthcare from 17 million Americans to make sure that Jeff Bezos can set more money on fire, I don't think is going to be a compelling message.
All right, so House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries, we all saw it. He held a marathon speech for nearly 9 hours yesterday to delay voting on this bill. Here's what he said. In part, obviously, we're not going to play the 9 hours.
The justification for all of the cuts that will hurt everyday Americans is to provide massive tax breaks for billionaires. The American people will not get over it, but they will get even next November.
Okay, so what do you make of what he said about next year's elections, Denise?
Well, I cannot wait for next year's elections because, what's really important is really performance results, not just a bunch of rehashed talking points, fear-mongering. Look, what I care about as a lawyer are facts. And when you look at the facts, you break down that Medicaid number, the CBO estimate of 11.8. Let me tell you what that comprises of. It's 6.8 million illegal immigrants who most Americans don't feel should be subsidized on Medicaid. 1.6 million people who are capable but not willing to volunteer, go to school, enroll in training, or do anything productive with their lives for just 20 hours, half of what most Americans work for in a week. And asking us, those of us who are paying taxes to subsidize their health care, to continue doing so as they choose not to. 70% of Americans are against that. And so when you look at that, that's just 1.6 added to the 6.8, and then there's 700,000 in New York State. And then there's 11 other states, including the District of Columbia, that have people who do not choose to have no work eligibility requirements that are on Medicaid. So I think that you really need to look at the numbers. When you add them all up, they end up adding up to over 11.8 million that the CBO is estimated. And let me just also say that the tax rate for the wealthiest Americans stayed at 37%. So that lie about, helping the wealthiest Americans is complete nonsense. You can just look it up yourself.
All right, Kayvon, we're running out of time. Quick response here.
I'm a lawyer too, so I know that lawyers can twist the facts and be pretty dishonest with them. The truth is this was set to expire, right? Those crazy tax breaks they delivered for billionaires in Trump's first term were going to expire. So what Denise is saying is absolutely untrue. And the reality is this is a tax cut for the top 0.1% of earners, people making over $3 million a year, when the real home net income for the rest of Americans, the bottom 60%, is going to go down because of this bill. Today, on July 4th, beef prices are at a record high, the highest since 1980 under Donald Trump. And now Americans are going to have to suffer even more.
Oh, I can't wait for this in November next year. This is going to be a fabulous conversation.
Denise, Kai Von, I'm going to be honest, it is early, it's not dark out, and we already have some fireworks. Thank you, two, for getting us off here on a good note.
Happy 4th to you both.
Thank you.